Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and I've got my special guest Island Snake with me today.
Hey guys.
And today we're reviewing a card by TGBC for his set Corrinella. I had to look it up. Uh, and here we got a card called Frost Spell Lupo. Now, do you know what a Lupo is?
Probably like a no, I don't.
I don't either, but I guess it's some kind of a wolf. It's a human wolf.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do I do like that he's including the human types all of a sudden, which was
No,
unlike
I think like he
unlike
did
the
that with the spy.
He,
It was
well,
a
he,
cat
he did
human.
he did that with actually all of these cards are human,
Yeah.
including the ones that shouldn't be, but that's a different thing. So okay, so this is a 4 mana uncommon, a 3/4. Okay, decent start. I mean, 3/4 for 4 is like not, it's not the best, but if there's other abilities, we'll see. Okay, so this one has bio augment for 2
Green
blue
blue.
green. And I'm not going to read the flavor text because we read it for the other card. Viewers may read this themselves. Let me make it easier for you by covering it up with this pink.
Nice.
While Frost Spell Lupo is augmented, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, tap target creature an opponent controls, it doesn't untap during their next untap step. So this is a little bit similar to the dragon we looked at, kind of, but okay, so this card is strong. This card's certainly strong. But you do have to augment it for 4, which is like a lot, right? You're paying 8 mana for this. So I actually don't think this card's that. I think this card is actually like balance-wise pretty decent. Like the payoff here,
Really? I mean,
well,
the payoff is big.
the payoff is really big, but the cost is also really big, right?
So, how do you feel about this card? So, this card basically, they included the full text, which is fine. I mean, that's a decision you have to make when you're making the card, whether you're gonna, include the tip or
Oh, look,
whatever.
they added an additional thing here. Frostbow Lupo becomes blue in addition to its other colors.
Okay, that's cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the my only issue here is that with the other cards, this is similar. I guess this also comes up with a it's like this card's weird. Like you play it, and without the augment, this card's kind of garbo, right? Like
It's not very good. Yeah, I mean it's okay. It's a 3/4. You know, it blocks some things, but it's not really. I mean, nowadays at common you'll find 4 mana 4/4s in green. So that kind of tells you that a 4 mana uncommon 3/4 is not really cream of the
the funny
crop.
thing about these cards is I don't know how you feel about like augment, but it's almost like maybe this concept is wrong, but like it's kind of like a like imagine you're playing a game and you have like a 4 drop, a 5 drop, a 6 drop, and you get to your fourth turn and you have 4 mana, and you get to your fifth turn and you don't draw a land. These augment cards allow you to kind of like continue to power up your cards without having more like maximum mana pool available, right?
Yes.
So like so that is kind of an interesting thing where it's like, but because these cards kind of require you to like kind of pay for to unlock the actual card, I don't know how I feel about it. Like this card, this is the only card where I really like realized that like these cards are kind of garbage without the augment.
Well,
Um,
it it hasn't been the case, I think, for some of the
for every
cards we've
card,
seen.
that's true. This
With
one
with
especially, I
this
think
one, yes,
it's
this card
not that
is
great.
very weak unless you pay the augment.
But
And so
I do like the effect and I like the color changing. But I almost feel like is this card, separate from like I get that this set's all about augmentation, right? But like if we just zoom out a bit and say, would this card be a better card if it had the augment built in and it costed more? Like it would it be a better like design card in the sense that like it doesn't have to have this half the card explain augmenting and all it's doing is becoming something that you're paying more for anyway. So if it was like a 6 cost, card that had this effect by default, would that be a better design?
not
Um,
necessarily. It would just be different.
yeah, I don't.
I mean,
It would be different.
I
I'm
mean,
not saying that it's better or worse. It's just I don't know. I'm ruminating on like augment, I guess.
No. I mean, I get where you're coming from because here's the thing with this card, right? You play this as a 4-mana 3/4. You know, it's like it has like a reasonable body, but it's not anything to write home about. But that's basically all it is until you pay an additional 4 mana. And not only that, you have to pay an additional 4 mana, and then you have to be able to cast a non-creature spell to even get a payoff. So you're paying 8 mana in order to have the potential to tap something if you cast a non-creature spell, right?
Exactly.
So you're putting a really, really big investment into this card. The payoff is quite large, but like here's like what you don't want to do with this card, right? You don't want to play this card on turn 4, and then on turn 5 you augment it, and then on turn 6 you try to tap something. That's not a good strategy because what's going to happen is on turn 5, if all you're doing is casting this bio augment, you're not doing anything else. You're not tapping anything. You're not affecting the board in any way. You're literally doing nothing. Okay, until the turn after. So, and not only that, but they can also just kill it after you augment it. So you've wasted your entire turn augmenting, and then they just kill this thing, right? So like,
yeah,
this is something you want to do late game. So what I would probably suggest that you do, TGBC, is make this a 4/4 by default. Just make it a 4-mana 4/4 so that it's actually a reasonable body up front, right? So it's like you can attack with it, you can block with it. It's pretty strong. I mean, this is an uncommon, remember, right? So it's just a strong card on its own. And then later in the game, let's say you have 6 mana and you have like a 2-mana non-creature spell, you can augment this and then cast your non-creature spell and then get some sort of a bonus off of it, right? So I actually think the design of this card is okay. I just think it needs to be a little bit better without the augment.
I agree.
And I have one other issue with this card, which is that the color identity is a little strange on this. I know that the card turns blue when you cast this with this bio augment here, but the fact that you have a green card that like cares about casting non-creature spells, the tap I don't mind, but like whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you tap something. It's a little bit off color for me, even though this card has some blue elements to it.
Well, it is a blue-green card, right? Like,
yeah,
it can't have that effect doesn't come into play unless it's already a blue-green card.
That's true, but blue-green is not the non-creature spell color pair. Like that's like red-blue generally, right?
Mm-hmm. I know that green likes to cast creature spells.
Yeah,
right?
so I was gonna suggest make it a creature spell instead of a non-creature spell. So as long as Frostspell Lupo is augmented, whenever you cast a creature spell, tap target creature an opponent controls. It doesn't untap during their next untap step.
What if it No, that would be way too strong. I was gonna say, what if it gained like the other side of it, like any spell when it became augmented, but then you would have to get that effect all the time, which makes this way too strong.
Yeah, or you could also make it an attack trigger. Whenever this guy attacks, you get to tap something.
Yeah.
That way you're getting something from the bio augment the turn you augment the guy, right? Where it's like you augment him, then you attack with him, and now you finally get a payoff. Whereas previously it's like you gotta play this guy, you gotta augment him, and then you have to cast another spell to get the effect.
I also think maybe this is nitpicking, but I think the augment in this case, it would be interesting if the augment didn't have any green so it would just be like two blue, because it is literally augmenting blue.
Yes,
onto green, so it shouldn't require green, I think.
No, I completely agree with you. I was actually thinking the same thing. As if this was like an augment of blue, I think that would be a lot more interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think as this card stands, my main suggestion is just to make it a 4/4 and probably make this a blue only cost, and I think this card would be fine. I think with those changes, this card would probably be like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually like this card. I think I'm gonna give it like a
6
out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10. I think it has a few issues, but This one I think is getting closer to being like an interesting augment card, because the payoff here for the cost is like kind of worth it. You know what I mean?
Is the formatting correct on like so? Like, if you're gonna have a if you're gonna make changes to the subtext of augment, which this card has like an extra bit added, is that the appropriate way to do it?
No,
Or should you just put it in like put only the new stuff in brackets?
no. You your reminder text always should be the same no matter what. So, for example, when we saw that white creature that had augment for white, that should say becomes white in addition to its other colors, even though it costs white.
Okay. Fair enough.
I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the point of reminder text is to always say the same thing every time you read it, so that like.
So eventually, they don't have to print it anymore.
So you don't have to read the point is you shouldn't have to read the reminder text. The reminder text explains a rule to you, and then you've read it once, which means you've read it for every other card that has this ability. But this one has an additional thing, like it's like the fine print text that you didn't read. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They just like the lawyers just snuck this one in there. So yeah, a 6 out of 10 of Frostspell Lupo, but I do like this card. I think it has potential, and I think it's probably my favorite we've seen of the card so far. So, all right, that is our review of Frostspell Lupo. Thank you for watching.